Hello, class. I wanted to go over the week 2 formative assessment. Okay, so you're here on the home page. Let me go home. And you're going to scroll down to week 2 summary, and you'll see week 2 formative assessment. So you're going to click on that. And right here, you'll see instructions. These are the general instructions for each of the formative assessments. And remember, formative assessments are the labs for this class. So you want to download the actual template for the assessment. Okay. And you're going to bring this up. And one thing that I didn't mention previously, you are going to want to save your formative assessment once you filled it in, because you can fill in your formative assessment on either the file that you have here. Okay, you can fill in your answers right in the tables. All of this information, you could just fill it in directly, or you can print it out right on the document and then take a picture of it and submit your picture that way. Okay. If you save it to the computer, then you're just going to drop in your whatever your file is into the assignment. All right. And if you took a picture, then you want to make sure that you change that to a PDF. And I think I can, it says that we want the format to be in Word, but I do believe that I can accept PDFs as well. But we will see as the week goes along. And if you have problems with that, just let me know. All right. And so for week 2's formative assessment, we are working with polar, nonpolar, and ionic bonds. And so there are some pre-lab questions that you're going to do here that talks about the nonpolar and the ionic bonds. It gives you a little bit of information on how to determine the polarity based on the differences in electronegativity. This right here, this chart up here at the top of the page, is the electronegativity chart, and it's different from the numbers that you're given in your standard periodic table. These values correspond to a particular element's attraction to electrons. So the higher the number, the stronger the attraction for electrons. And then when you subtract the two numbers for a particular bond, then you get a value that if we compare to these ranges, we can determine if that particular bond is nonpolar covalent, polar covalent, or ionic. So if we look at this first example, so look at HF. So we go to the periodic table here, we see that H is 2.1, we see that F is 4.0. So if we take 4.0, because we want our value to be positive, we always take the larger number minus the smaller number, we get a value of 1.9. If we look at the ranges, 1.9 falls in the range of ionic, so that we know that HF is an ionic bond, okay? And so that's what you want to do. So you're going to look at some examples of that and answer those questions. Then you want to look at some other bonds, determine if they're nonpolar, polar, or ionic, just like I showed you with the example of HF, okay? And then we're looking at identifying the most electronegative atom for this case, okay, and putting that information in there. And then primarily ionic and primarily covalent based on the fact that you are looking at the differences of the bonds. Now, for this one, you have carbon that's attached to 4 hydrogens. So you're looking at the individual carbon to hydrogen bond. And then here, the same thing, the individual nitrogen to hydrogen bond. And then the next one, calcium to chloride. So you're not looking at 4 at once, but you're just looking at one of those bonds to the first element listed. Okay. And then you have a lab simulation. So for the lab simulation, okay, you would click on this, but it says to hit control and then click on it. And you should have your lab simulation pop up. Very important that you make sure that your pop-ups are enabled for your particular device that you're using to do this lab. And so you want to hit play, okay, and you want to run, you can run the browser version, which is fine. All right, it may take a few minutes for it to start up, depending on the speed of your computer. All right, and so this is your lab, okay, simulation. But in the Word document, these are the instructions that you need, okay? So you want to open up your sugar salt, okay? You have your conductivity meter that you want to drag the conductivity tester, okay? And you want labeled A into the beaker of water, okay? So I'm going to do some going back and forth here. So you want to drag this into the water, basically. Okay, so you want your electrodes to be in the water. All right. And then you want to place the negative and positive electrodes into the water, but not touching the bottom of the beaker. When the electricity is conducted by the solution, the light bulb will light up. The stronger the electric current, the brighter the bulb will glow, and you want to record your observations. So you're going to click on the salt shaker, okay, label B, drag your mouse back and forth. This will shake the salt into the water. All right. And then as you add salt, pay attention to the light bulb of the conductivity tester. Continue to add salt until the shaker is empty. Record your observations, then click remove salt to reset the simulation. Okay, so let's look at that. So we're going to go back to the simulation and we're going to move the salt. Okay, so you see how just moving it back and forth. Okay, so you see that the light bulb is lighting up and it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Okay, so you want to continue to add salt until the salt shaker is empty. Okay, once you finish with that, you're going to remove salt. And then you're going to do the same thing with sugar. Okay, and so then you're going to make sure that you are recording your observations for what's going on. Okay. So then you're looking at your different tabs. So at the top, okay, let me show you that. There's the macro tab, we got the micro tab, and we have the water tab. Okay, so it just depends on what portion of the lab you're doing. The first part is the macro tab, then you're going to do the micro tab. Okay, so then you're looking up some MSDS. Okay, so this is the link to look that up, and that'll give you the information you need to fill in this table. Okay, and then we have some analysis questions. Okay, and again, this is from the MSDS sheets. All right, and then some questions about your lab that you did. And then once you've completed this, then you want to save it. If you've typed it into here, you want to do save as. When you're saving it, make sure you put your name, say week 2 formative assessment, and then also put your first and last name. All right. And if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.